What's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? One Eye Bri back to tell you I'm alive after Hurricane Irma. As you know, some of you may know, I live in Florida, Tampa Bay, right outside of Tampa, but basically Tampa Bay. And we got hit with the outskirts of Irma. Not bad damage from around my house or around the area, but it knocked out a bunch of power. So I'd say it's been a rough couple weeks. My wife and I were going to brunch, a couple weeks ago on a Sunday brunch. And then we were hanging out, doing stuff down Clearwater Beach. And then we came back home, had a good time and relaxed a little bit. And then she looked at her cell phone and said, Irma, the track has moved. It's coming down south and going towards Florida. And then for the whole week, we had to worry about the storm. And you worried about the track and how it's going. And if you've ever been in Florida or Georgia or South Carolina or wherever hurricane can hit, you know that you're worried about the hurricane more and more and more when it gets closer to your direction. People were worried about it in South Carolina and in Georgia and in Florida, the East Coast for so long. And then the track was taking it up the state, and it didn't. And it moved over and over and over. And every day it was going more and more west. And people were like, make it go west, because nobody wants to deal with the hurricane. Nobody wants the damage of a hurricane. There's nothing good that comes from a hurricane. Damage, debris, deaths, loss of property. It's just terrible. And luckily, no one of my family or myself or my possessions were damaged. But we were worried about the hurricane, and come Saturday morning, and it's going west, more west, and every hour it was going more and more west, and it was supposed to come towards Tampa Bay. And Tampa is not built for a hurricane. Really, nowhere is built for a hurricane. Nowhere can withstand a hurricane of a Category 4 or a Category 5. There's no Category 6, so if you ever see a Category 6, that's fake news. Category 5 is the highest. Category 4 or 5 is pretty devastating for any area, and that's what it was supposed to be when it make landfall. So we woke up morning, couldn't sleep. You were just stressed out every hour knowing where the new track was going, and you were doing that for a whole week. You were on edge. I'm having chest pain, left shoulder pain, my heart. I'm stressed out. I have anxiety, and you got to go do your daily work stuff. Go to work. I'm a physical therapist, as most people know. So I had to go to work, and we were talking about the storm with patients, and it was just terrible. Then we finally find out the track, and the meteorologists were getting it wrong because it was supposed to go east, then it was going to go to Senator State, then it was going to go west, and the path of Irma was terrible, and the storm was huge. So come Saturday morning, my wife and I wake up, and we didn't sleep very well because you have an impending storm coming towards you. So we were like, Saturday morning, let's wake up. And what are we going to do? Let's check the news, right? So where's the storm going now? Because you can't help to worry about it. And we're watching the news, and it's like still coming towards Tampa, but it was supposed to come up maybe the middle of the state, and then it was the center is where you want to not be because it's the worst winds. Category 4 storm, Category 5, whatever was possibly going to be, because it was at Cuba, and it was still a Category 5. And that's devastating. So my wife's parents and family live in southeast Florida. And we were like, if this storm is going west, let's go southeast or let's go east. And I have some family friends and some friends that live in Orlando. And I actually talked to her that morning of Saturday morning. And she just had a baby and everything. So we didn't want to impose, and we have 2 cats and she has a dog, and we didn't want to do anything there, but she was very nice. And it was that Saturday morning, and she was like, did you evacuate Tampa? Because if you know anywhere in the area and you check the weather.com or whatever, weather channel, you would know where the storm is going. So we decided to pack up stuff and leave and drive the 4-hour drive down to southeast Florida. It wasn't bad because everybody went north. Everybody evacuated. People thought in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, West Palm Beach, they were going north. They were going to Georgia. They were leaving the area. So everybody that was going south had clear roads. We could go down the street and it wasn't a big deal. And the tolls were suspended, so you could go right through the tolls. We made it down there in less than 4 hours. We weren't going 100 miles per hour, but we were going pretty fast to get down there. We had cats. I have a cat. My wife has a cat. So we couldn't feel comfortable going to a shelter. And I really didn't want to leave my house. I really didn't. I decided to do that with my wife. And I decided, what do you want to do? And she's like, we should leave. Let's pack up some things and go. Because a devastating storm 4 or 5 is going to ruin the area. And you can rebuild a house. You can rebuild things. And then you can't rebuild someone's life. And so we decided to leave. So we're frantically packing up and we're doing this, and we were up at like 7 in the morning. So we were packing this and trying to get the house somewhat secure, because if and when we lost power, and of course we did, stuff's going to, possibly start leaking around the refrigerator, or the ice is going to start melting. So we put a bunch of towels around there, and, I'm grabbing everything possible, loading up bags and loading this, because I feel like my house might blow away. So, I'm grabbing things that I probably shouldn't have. I'm taking some, pictures of Walker Stalker with my wife and I, and we're with Jeffrey Dean Morgan and, Michael Cutlitz and stuff, and I'm packing them away, because I don't want to lose that stuff, and I packed up a bunch of clothes, a bunch of things, birth certificate, all those paperwork that you're supposed to have, because that'd probably be a nightmare to have if you lost it, passport. So we're packing stuff up, and we finally get down there, and we get to South Florida, and it was raining, and it wasn't bad. So hopefully, if you were in the storm or if you had to deal with Irma, post your comments below, guys. I want to know what your experience was with it. And hopefully you didn't have property damage too bad, or wind damage, or, lose power for too long like myself. So we make it down to South Florida on Saturday. No problems. Power. People, they're grilling. Her family's grilling. We're hanging out. It's good to be around people, though. It really was. If you were stuck alone, it would be scary, and you don't ever want to be that in this type of situation. So, we made it down there, and it was good, and we're staying at her aunt's house, and it was just a little crazy because, we have 2 cats, our luggage, cat food, litter box, carriers, all in one room. And so we were a tight, packed area, and we were in this room, and we had air conditioning, we had lights, we had things, but then her uncle boarded up the windows so you couldn't really see out. Then the storm winds started to come more and more and more Saturday night into Sunday morning, and they were getting 50, 60, 70, 80 mile per hour winds at times. So you would get a gust and a hiss and a wind, and go by, and then her uncle's going outside and checking things and whatever. And so, but Saturday night we heard like a wire, like electricity, and it was like zzz, zzz, and it was like, we felt like it was so close to the house, and we saw flashes and whatever, and we were looking out, and then you hear like zzz, and something exploded, and we were like, oh my God. And my wife was worried about her car because she has a lease, and she was worried about certain things, but evidently one of the power lines got dislodged and it shorted out, and that happens. And they always say, don't mess with down power lines, because there still could be current going through there. So we didn't mess with that. And the thing exploded, and we heard it all the same way. And that Sunday we woke up, and half of the AC wasn't working, but the fans were working, and certain circuits were working in the house. And then by 1:30, 1:45, little before 2 o'clock, we lost all power. So we had no television, we had no AC, we had no fans, we had no refrigerator, we had some coolers and stuff and put it in it. So we were like, all right, what are we going to do? Then it starts to get hot. And we can't know where the path of the track of this is going. Where's the storm? Where's this? So what do? You see the storm by them, but that's a 4-hour drive southeast, and we live, middle of the state, far west of Florida, and we're supposed to be going west. So I'm calling my dad, and I'm texting my dad, and I'm trying to look stuff up on my phone using my data. I want to use Wi-Fi, but I can't, so I'm using data. I'm checking the path of the storm, checking the path. It moved north, it moved northwest and west. We're checking the path the whole time to see, it downgraded to a 3. Oh, man, it's going to make landfall. Where'd it go? And then it finally made landfall around Naples, Marco Island, which was better for our area. And it's terrible for that. But again, it's like hot potato. Nobody wants to deal with it. No one wants to have it there, too, with a hurricane, because nothing good comes from it. And it's terrible. So the hurricane came, and winds were going all the way up the state from, northern state, Jacksonville, Tampa, Gainesville, Tallahassee, into Alabama and Georgia. So this Irma was huge. It was one of the biggest storms out there ever. It was the largest storm and the biggest storm ever recorded in the Atlantic Ocean. And luckily, it was not a big rainmaker. It was more winds than anything. And so there wasn't really any flooding besides the storm surge, I believe, that came by. I haven't seen Naples, or I haven't seen any pictures because I'm at a hotel right now. So I had the TV behind me that I'm turning off, but I've been watching it a little bit. But I haven't had cable, internet. I've had limited things I'd be able to post because people were worried. I haven't been able to post things online, and we're getting a storm in Tampa in Florida, and people were like, hopefully he's alive. And yes, I'm alive, and I appreciate that, guys. I appreciate the support and the love that I was getting and the concern. Hopefully people didn't worry about things too much, and I wish I could have posted stuff earlier. But this is the first video I have because I'm staying in a hotel right now. We're not supposed to get power back to my area at latest Friday at midnight, and today is Wednesday at 4:26 p.m. So we've been without power since Sunday afternoon. So that's a half a day. Monday, Tuesday, now Wednesday. That's 3 days, like 3.5, 4 days. Thursday is going to be the 5th day. Friday would be the 6th day if it takes that long. But more and more businesses are opening up around my area. Lights are going up there too. So if you can, post your comments below, guys, if you were impacted by the storm. I didn't get a chance to see Fear the Walking Dead. I didn't get a chance to see the Walking Dead special, which sucks. I didn't watch any football. I didn't get to see anything. It's just a weird I've been dealing with this storm stuff since before it came, and now I'm still dealing with the aftermath of the storm. And I need a vacation after all this, and I can't wait for October for Walker Stalker Atlanta, going on some tours and hopefully meet some of you guys and just to be okay and be safe. And I'm grateful for that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm at the stage now where I need my power back on at my house. I need my internet. I need my AC. I need my refrigerator to be working. I need to cool down the house because it's hot, sticky, it's gross. And then I have yard work and debris and stuff. My shed exploded. It was a vinyl shed that got blown apart. The roof was in my neighbor's yard. I had to go get that. The back panel and some tools were in the neighbor diagonal to me left. The back fence of, not my fence, but my neighbor's fence, wooden fence, got knocked down and blown down, and it needs to be repaired. It was a crappy fence to begin with, and it needs to be replaced for good quality stuff. And, I was talking to my dad and it's just frustrating because I'm at the stage now where people are getting power back on. All my friends are like, we never lost power. And some of them are like, good for you. But you want to be like, oh man, why can't we just get our power back? And, I'm not trying to sound ungrateful because I am grateful for having my health, my house, my safety, my security. A lot of things could be taken for granted. It could be, I could have a hole in the roof. I could have to put a whole new roof on. It could be unsafe on there too. And luckily, Tampa, we got really lucky. The Tampa Bay area got really lucky because we were supposed to get a big storm, and Tampa's not built for a storm like that too. It floods easily. And stuff's on the river and the Gulf and the bay, and there's a lot of water around here. So the storm surge and everything could have had a lot of trouble. And luckily, we didn't have any of that. My house did not sustain any damage. The roof looks to be fine, and everything seems to be good. We put stuff away in the garage, and so nothing blew away. Except some gutter stuff that I found and put it back on and reattached it. So we're good there. Just maybe got to buy a new shed and whenever there too. But the past couple of days have been tough, because it's been hot. And I mean, once your house is 80, 83, 85 degrees and you can't really cool down. I've been trying to go in the pool a little bit, clean the pool, and then I'm going to put some chlorine in it, but the pool pump's not working because we have no power. So it's going to be starting algae green style, and we got to take care of that. Clean it before it gets too bad. I'm going to put some chlorine to hopefully clean it as best it can, shock the pool a little bit. But there's been some good things and some bad things. More bad things than good things, though, too. When we were in Miami area, South Florida, it was like we were trying to get gas to come back to the west coast of Florida. And people were, if you come to a light and it's flashing, a traffic light, and it's flashing or it's not lit, it becomes a four-way stop. And they were saying that over and over on the radio, and people were not abiding by that. They were like, oh, I got the right of way. It's, it's a stop sign. You don't have to stop. I'm just going to go right through it because no one's around to stop me. And it was unsafe. People were getting crazy. People were looking for gas. There was huge lines for gas, and we needed gas to get in our car and go. And it took us forever to find. But luckily we got it, and we're back on the west coast of Florida. We went to Publix. They were open pretty quickly the next day. They were running on a generator. They were making sandwiches. They were doing, the stuff was pretty packed. They were using, you could use your credit card. And at one of them, at the other one, you had to use cash. So it was good that you had cash out. We had some food. We had some there, but it was just so hot. And then we had a portable fan that took D batteries. I only had 6 batteries. And the fan's probably going to die tonight, but we're at a hotel now, so they got power. We got this. Be able to make this video and post it there. So hopefully I'll be back up and running this weekend. I was unable to do the live stream on Sunday, this past Sunday, because had no power. I was away. I couldn't do anything, and it was just terrible. And I apologize for that. But Irma got in the way. So hopefully this Sunday I'll be able to do a live stream and keep the live streams coming. I'll be up on Instagram posting stuff. And yeah, guys, so that's my update. Today is Wednesday, September 13th. Trying to get my life together. I haven't had power for 4 days in the heat of Florida. It's terrible. And then you got to go do yard work and get hot and sweaty and do this, and then you can't really cool down. It's a tough thing. So you don't want to really go do anything, but you have stuff to do. You have all this time, but you're bored. You can't. It's just crazy. It's just ridiculous. I'm stressed out. I'm on the way to relax a little bit. I just want my normal life routine. And I got to post a couple Facebook messages. And for everybody that said well wishes, I thank you. I appreciate it. I love you guys. I'm alive. I'm well. If my parents are watching this video, I'm alive. I'm well. I got to talk to you on the phone, of course, and text messages and everything. But I'm just making sure that you guys see me. I'm alive here at the hotel. I'll talk to you guys when I can online, posting messages. If you can, post messages on Facebook and the Walking Dead community group and all that good stuff. Just giving you an update. Hopefully I'll be able to watch the Walking Dead special and the Fear of the Walking Dead stuff. Some football. I've been trying to catch up with the Walking Dead filming stuff, but I know the hurricane affected them as well. It went up and down. It's going into, the East Coast now in New Jersey and Massachusetts or whatever. They're getting rain and stuff from it now. Irma really did a number on everybody. Hopefully everyone's safe and secure. I know there's a lot of other people that watch the channel that are in Florida. Hopefully you guys are safe and secure in your families and you got power. So there you go, guys. For those who like the channel, keep going, continue growing with the channel. If you can, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, keep us going and growing. You guys are awesome, and thank you for watching, and I love you guys.